But here's how we can pull it off now and save money as well. Buying Greenland directly would cost tens of billions of dollars. The strategy is simple. Greenland declares its independence from Denmark. In fact, the current Prime Minister of Greenland has stated his desire to do just that. A referendum could come as soon as this April. The next step is the big one. Have Greenland then apply for statehood. Voila, the deed is done. There is precedent here. Texas broke away from Mexico in 1836, becoming a separate nation. Several years later, it became our 28th state. The advantages for everyone are clear. It's true, Denmark would be left feeling like a sports team losing a big player to free agency, since it would no longer be getting a huge bundle of cash from Uncle Sam. But Copenhagen would no longer be liable for its annual subsidy of around $600 million a year to this humongous island of 56,000 people. Nor would Denmark be on the hook for the $1.5 billion it recently promised Greenland to beef up its defenses there.
Trump wants to buy Greenland. He will get Greenland at all costs. He said, let's look at Trump's plan and exactly why he would want Greenland. Is it that easy to do? We don't know if that's going to be a possibility or not. Let's look into it.
We need Greenland for national security purposes. I've been told that for a long time, long before I even ran. I mean, people have been talking about it for a long time. You have approximately 45,000 people there. People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world. You look at, you don't even need binoculars. You look outside, you have China ships all over the place. You have Russian ships all over the place. We're not letting that happen. We're not letting it happen. And if Denmark wants to get to a conclusion, but nobody knows if they even have any right, title, or interest. The people are going to probably vote for independence or to come into the United States. But if they did do that, then I would tariff Denmark at a very high level. You're talking about Panama and Greenland. No, I can't assure you on either of those two. But I can say this. We need them for economic security. The Panama Canal was built for our military. I'm not going to commit to that now. It might be that you'll have to do something. Look, the Panama Canal is vital to our country. It's being operated by China. China. And we gave the Panama Canal to Panama. We didn't give it to China. And they've abused it. They've abused that gift. It should have never been made, by the way. Giving the Panama Canal is why Jimmy Carter lost the election, in my opinion, more so maybe than the hostages. The hostages were a big deal. But if you remember, and nobody wants to talk about the Panama Canal now because, it's inappropriate, I guess, but because it's a bad part of the Carter legacy. But
what do you think about that one? Do you think the Panama Canal and Greenland should be part of the United States or not? Is it a good idea or not? Isn't this what authoritarian regime like Putin and Chinese Communist Party are doing? Trying to get their hegemony and supremacy over other countries that are basically weaker than them. Let's see what Donald Trump Jr. has to say about that one.
Okay, so could you imagine a world, your dad is president, where Greenland is, maybe a U.S. territory in the not-so-distant future, like Puerto Rico, for example?
I'd love to see that. My father understands how to wield America's economic might. He understands how to wield America's military might. He knows how to do these things. He's not a guy like Joe Biden, who's a career bureaucrat, never done anything in his life. My father, first and foremost, is a real estate guy, but he understands how to utilize these things for the benefit of both nations. You're going to see the same thing, whether it's Panama, whether it's Canada and those relationships. He understands how to do that. He also understands who the real threats to democracy in this world are. China and so many other dictatorial regimes. He knows how to play that game better than anyone.
I totally agree with the point that he's making right there. I totally believe that Donald Trump is the perfect negotiator. I think he knows how to make great deal. He wrote a book, The Art of the Deal. He's a businessman after all, and he knows how to get the best of people through negotiation. He is great at it. He is a people person. He understands people, and he understands how to surround himself with great people as well. But I'm not so sure that the Panama people are gonna want to give up the Panama Canal that easily, just the same as Greenland would want to give up their land to the United States. Let's look at the controversy and what people of Greenland have been saying. Basically, the Greenlanding premier affirmed that the island autonomy, stating Greenland is ours, we are not for sale, and we will never be for sale. Trump's border foreign policy ambition, including suggestion of annexing Canada, have been met also with firm rejection. The Prime Minister, Justin Trudeau, who is outgoing, is saying that they have no chance of becoming the 51st state. No chance in hell, they say. We will see what happens. So let's look at the news.
Less than 2 weeks before his inauguration as US President, Donald Trump has repeated his desire to take control of both Greenland and the Panama Canal, and even floated the possibility of using military force. Mr. Trump made his remarks during questions from reporters at his estate in Florida. His son, Donald Trump Jr., was in Greenland today on what he called a personal day trip to talk to people. Here's our North America editor, Sarah Smith.
This is a very deliberate signal of intent, of Donald Trump's genuine desire to take over Greenland. It's no coincidence that his son, Don Jr., landed there today.
Just here as tourists, seeing it.
It may look like he's come for a property viewing, Trump style, before trying to buy the island. He says that's not the case.
Do you have a message from your father?
He says hello.
Okay, to whom?
We were talking to him yesterday, so he says hello to everyone in Greenland.
Okay, are you still interested in buying Greenland or?
Greenland is controlled by Denmark, whose Prime Minister says it is very much not for sale. Excuse me. Its strategic location, sitting between the US and Russia, is why Donald Trump wants to take control.
People really don't even know if Denmark has any legal right to it. But if they do, they should give it up because we need it for national security. That's for the free world. I'm talking about protecting the free world.
In a very wide
Protecting the free world, he says. He wants to take up territory and expand the United States to the south and to the north to protect the free world. Well, isn't that what authoritarian regime do? They come up with BS reason to expand their power and influence. Honestly, I'm not so sure if that's a good idea. I truly believe that the Panama Canal should be to the Panama people and Greenland should be to the Greenlanders, not to any exterior influence. Honestly, let me know what you think about this. Let me know if this video was interesting to you, and click right there so that you can watch the next video. Thanks for watching as always, and I will see you there. Bye bye.